Let's talk about the Tuason family. Tuason with an S, not a Z. That difference matters. During the Spanish colonial period, they were the only family that managed to be elevated to nobility because of service to the Spanish crown. Antonio Tuason was a mestizo de sangley merchant who paid for the cost of fighting the invading British forces in 1762 to 1764 and fought in battles himself. He was granted a mayorazgo or a Spanish noble estate which is passed to the firstborn sons. He was also exempted from paying taxes. In 1794, upon the death of Antonio Tuason, his son Vicente Dolores bought the Hacienda de San Isidro de Marikina from the Jesuits in a public auction. He also bought Hacienda de Tambobong, now Malabon, Hacienda de Nagtahan in Pandacan, and Hacienda de Santa Mesa. When Vicente Dolores died, the estate passed on to his son Mariano. When Mariano died, the estate passed on to his son Jose Maria. In 1856, when Jose Maria died, the estate passed on to his son Jose Severo Tuason. In 1863, Jose Severo met and married Teresa de la Paz. Teresa was born in Marikina to Tomas de la Paz, a gobernadorcillo, and Valentina de los Santos. Their families were mestizo de sanglis and were part of the town's principalia. The couple had 7 children. In 1874, when Jose Severo Tuason died, their estate had grown to the biggest privately owned hacienda in the Philippines. In 1875, the widow Teresa married Beniting Legarda y Tuason, who was a distant cousin of her first husband and was 12 years her junior. He was an up-and-coming lawyer who would later become a Philippine resident commissioner to the U.S. Congress. They had 3 children together. In 1878, Teresa unexpectedly became the heiress and successor of the mayorazgo when her eldest son, Jose Victoriano Tuason, caught pneumonia while traveling through Germany and died. Teresa de la Paz did not meet the conventions of her era. She was not just a landowner but a hands-on manager of vast property. She didn't just grow her wealth, she used it to help those in need. She even bought a house and turned it into a school for girls, making education more accessible for her townmates in Marikina. Sadly, her life was cut short when she passed away in 1890 at just 51. In life, Teresa was called La Marquesa de Marikina. She also carries the label the last hacendera because the next 10 years would see their land ravaged by revolution and new colonial masters. In 1904, the Americans formally dissolved the noble estates. The land was redistributed to tenants and other interested parties, including the Americans themselves. The heirs spent many years in court. In 1926, the Tuason heirs were awarded by the Supreme Court 4/5 of their giant estate. In 1939, the government bought 1,572 hectares of the Teresa de la Paz estate for 786,000 pesos to build what we now know as Quezon City. This family has grown to become the Tuason Legarda Prieto Valdez clan of Manila. Interestingly, when they started having this big family reunion every few years, they did not name it after the patriarch who acquired Spanish nobility. Instead, they called it the Teresa de la Paz Grand Reunion, after their mothering great-great-great-great-great-great grandmother. O, diba?
Meow meow.